Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And today we have two R's. Not a ton of things here. Actually, a rather surprising tribute to the British composer Alan Rawsthorne. But before we get to Rawsthorne, we need to deal with one of my all-time faves. I only have this one little work of his, but it's very popular. And he wrote a lot more, of course. H. Owen Reed, the great band master of wind ensembles, his La Fiesta Mexicana. It's one of the all-time band classics. And it's on this unbelievably fabulous reference recordings disc just called Fiesta, which features the Dallas Wind Symphony under Howard Dunn. Here it is. Take a good look at it, because every serious collection of real music, whether it's classical or not classical or whatever, should have this disc. It's stunningly recorded, and the music is just fantastic. So first you get La Fiesta Mexicana, which consists of the prelude and Aztec dance, mass, and carnival. And it's just delicious and delightful to play and fun to listen to and pretty substantial. 22 minutes long. I mean, it's as long as like La Mer. I mean, it's a major work. Then we've got Morton Gould, his Santa Fe Saga. These are all wind pieces inspired by the West of the South, the Southwest of North America, basically. And it's so much fun. So you've got Morton Gould's Santa Fe Saga, Clifton Williams, his Symphonic Dance No. 3, subtitled Fiesta. And then we've got Roger Nixon's Fiesta del Pacifico. And finally, Frank Perkins, arranged by someone named Whirl, his Fandango, which is only 3 minutes and 53 seconds. But wow, what a fun disc, a wonderful concept album that really works. Fiesta, get it. Have a fiesta. Couldn't hoit, right? Then we come back to Alan Rawsthorne. Now, Rawsthorne lived from 1905 to 1971. Not very long. He died relatively youthfully. But he was a good composer. He didn't have a huge output, but everything that he wrote is solid, well-crafted. The problem with Rawsthorne, as with so many sort of second-tier composer types, is that his style is not instantly recognizable as being, an individualistic or characteristic personal kind of voice. But, okay, let's just leave that aside. There always has to be room for composers who really knew how to compose. And Rawsthorne was one of those. And there are 4 discs here on Naxos. I mean, there may be a couple others, I'm not sure. But first of all, we get his 2 piano concertos and improvisations on a theme by Constant Lambert. And they're absolutely wonderful. They're delightful pieces. The first piano concerto will never get played. It's only 17 minutes long. The second is a little better at 26 minutes in 4 movements. And then we also get the improvisations on a theme by Constant Lambert. A wonderful disc. Peter Donahoe is the pianist. And it's the Ulster Orchestra under Takuo Yuasa. First rate. If you want to hear some good English music, 20th century tonal stuff, Rawsthorne's a good guy. Then we've got his 3 symphonies, which is pretty nifty. The first symphony is very exciting and sort of tumultuous, and also only 24 minutes. He's one of those kind of neoclassical-ish type people who never got any attention because of that, but still, it's good, solid music. Symphony No. 2 from 1959, never going to get any attention. Why? Because it's called a pastoral symphony. The third movement is a country dance, allegro giocoso, and the finale has a soprano in it. Well, who did that about, 20 years earlier, 30 years earlier? None other than Ralph Vaughan Williams. So I can understand this being sort of superficially regarded as a somewhat, pale sequel to Vaughan Williams' Pastoral Symphony, but it doesn't really sound anything like that. It has its own distinctive quality. And if you like Vaughan Williams' Pastoral Symphony, why not try Rawsthorne's second? Give it a shot. See what you think. And then the third symphony, which is actually the longest of all of them. It's 30 minutes long, from 1964. And it's very rhythmically exciting. He did a lot of really tense Nice fidgety music. Then what have we got here? His cello concerto, played by Alexander Bailey, who's an excellent cellist, a wonderful cellist. The oboe concerto with Stefan Rancourt oboe, and the symphonic studies with the Royal Scottish National Orchestra under David Lloyd-Jones. Now, wait a second, because we just did the symphonies. I didn't even say who was playing them. The Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra under David Lloyd-Jones, who's, as you know, always reliable in this music. I mean, just very, very well. Then we've got string music and things like that. We have his Concerto for String Orchestra, which is yet another in that distinguished series of works for string orchestra by 20th century British masters. Yeah, okay. There's that, and the Concertante Pastorale for flute, horn, and strings. It's only 10 minutes long. Light music for strings based on Catalan tunes. Well, that's 3 minutes and 58 charming seconds. And let's see, Suite for Recorder and String Orchestra, which is orchestrated by John McCabe. It's tiny, it's only 6 minutes. His Elegiac Rhapsody for String Orchestra, which is rhapsodic and elegiac. And finally, the Divertimento for Chamber Orchestra, a little jeu d'esprit in 3 zippy little movements. This is with the Northern Chamber Orchestra under David Lloyd-Jones. So there you go. I mean, some really, really good stuff by somebody who deserves at least 1 CD's worth of your attention. You may not want to get all 4, but he's definitely worth hearing. Give it a shot. You'll be pleasantly surprised. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.